This is not an extraordinary situation anymore. Do not think of it as a special situation. This is, I hate to use the overused phrase, but this is the new normal.
Hey guys, I am Jasmine Kitnichon and I am going to help you understand how San Fernando fights climate change and stay away from its effects. Now let's start.
But before we start, what is climate change? Climate change is a change that is attributed directly or indirectly to human activity that changes the composition of the global atmosphere and natural climate variability observed over a period of time. Take note of this also. Climate change is caused by factors such as biotic processes, variations in solar radiation received by Earth, plate tectonics, and volcanic eruptions. Certain human activities have also been identified as significant causes of recent climate change, often referred to as global warming. What is global warming? Global warming refers to the current increase in temperature of the Earth's surface as well as its atmosphere. Average temperatures around the world have risen by 75 degrees Celsius over the last 100 years. About two-thirds of this increase has occurred since 1975. In the past, when the Earth experienced increases in temperature, it was in the result of natural causes, but today it is being caused by the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere produced by human activities.
Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. I'm Beverlyn Gabon Nathanes from 1G.
Climate change indicators the global greenhouse emissions. One of the most critical indicators of climate change is the increase in greenhouse gases from human activities. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere and are primarily released through activities like burning fossil fuel and industrial processes. The major greenhouse gases include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Over time, the emission and concentration of these gases have significantly increased, especially since the industrial era. When emissions from different gases are compared, they are often measured using global warming potential, which shows how much heat a gas can trap compared to carbon dioxide. From 1990 to 2010, global greenhouse gases emissions from human activities rose by 35%, with carbon dioxide emissions, which make up about 75% of total emissions, increased by 42%.
Good day everyone, my name is Bulwer Pimentel. Today's page I will be discussing is all about atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gases. So what is atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gases? It is concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in atmospheric have increased since the beginning of industrial era. Almost all of these increased by attributes of human activities. About climate forcing. So you all may be wondering, what is climate forcing? Climate forcing refers to a change of in Earth energy balance, leading into either warming or cooling effect over time. An increasing of atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gases produced by positive climate forcing or warming effect. From 1990 to 2015, the total warming effect of greenhouse gases added by human to Earth's atmosphere increased by 30%. The warming effect associated with carbon dioxide alone increased by 30%.
My name is Brian Joseph Rivera, and this is all cause of climate change. Number 1. Volcanic eruption. When a volcano erupts, it throws out large of volume and sulfur dioxide, water, vapor, and dust.
Good day everyone. Today we're talking about climate change, one of the biggest challenges of our world. Ocean currents. Ocean currents are large streams of seawater that move continuously through the world's ocean. They are driven by several factors such as wind, water temperature, salinity, and the rotation of the Earth. Earth's orbit. The Earth's orbit around the Sun in an oval shaped path called an ellipse. It takes about 365 days for Earth to complete one full orbit, and that's a 1 year.
Good day everyone, this is Lauren Segunda reporting for Science, Technology, and Society. The sun is the source of energy for the Earth's climate system. Although the sun's energy output appears constant from an everyday point of view, small changes over an extended period of time can lead to climate changes. Solar variations have performed a role in past climate changes. Climate change can also be caused by human activities. The buildup of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has led to an enhancement of the natural greenhouse effect. It is this human-induced enhancement of the greenhouse effect that is of concern because ongoing emissions of greenhouse gases have the potential to warm the planet to levels that have never been experienced in the history of human civilization.
The impacts of climate change. Climate change and its impacts are happening. In particular, here are the effects of climate change. First is droughts and floods. A combination of changes in precipitation and weather patterns bring out droughts in one sector and great floods in neighboring areas. And the second one is shrinking of lakes. A decrease in precipitation causes lakes to decrease in size. Third one, desertification. Billions of square kilometers of once agricultural land becomes barren.
Impact of climate change. Shortage of food and water. Agricultural output in many regions of the world has become scarce because of drought. Desertification, heat waves, wildfire, and changes in precipitation, also freshwater supplies are decreasing due to the melting glaciers and shrinking of lakes and water contamination. Extension of species. Mass extinction of species is one of the most troubling effects of climate change. Humans have a technology to help us adapt to drastic changes in weather pattern, but animals could not adapt to it.
Ocean acidification. The increasing pH of oceans due to carbon dioxide will affect marine life at the bottom of the food chain. As a result, the entire food chain is being affected, and eventually, land animals that are dependent on fish will suffer as well.
Melting glaciers and polar ice caps. Glacier and polar ice caps are large masses of ice in cold regions. Because of global warming, these ice sheets are melting faster than before. Example, in the Arctic, sea ice is shrinking each year. This causes sea levels to rise, threatening coastal communities and wildlife like polar bears. When the ice melts, it's not just a pool of sulfur, it's a warning that our planet is slowly losing its stability.
Spread of diseases and food poisoning. This is an increase of temperature will also spread malaria and dengue, fever as well as several diseases. Moreover, it will increase salmonella and outbreak. So this is my explanation about that. Food poisoning, also known as foodborne illness caused by germs and toxins, thus spread throughout food and hand. When contaminated, food is consumed by all germs. Foodborne diseases typically spread throughout consumption of contaminated food, with contamination of occur to various stages of food and production, including in growing, harvesting, processing, storing, and preparing. Only symptoms of food poisoning can include stomach pain, vomiting, and diarrhea, fever, and headache. So salmonella is a bacteria are usually found in raw and undercooked foods. Food poisoning symptoms usually begins within 2 hours to 12 hours after eating or drinking a contaminated food. Also, can be prevented by chilling food properly and washing hands separately and undercooked foods. Cooking foods on properly temperature.
Mitigation approach. Mitigation means reducing or preventing the causes of climate change. It focuses on cutting greenhouse gas emission and using cleaner energy sources. Example, planting trees, using solar panels, and reducing plastic waste are all mitigation efforts that help lessen climate change. Mitigation is a promise, a way for humanity to take responsibility and protect the future before it's too late.
The other approach is adaptation, which refers to an adjustment in natural or human systems in response to actual or expected climatic stimuli or their effects. It moderates harm or exploits beneficial opportunities. Examples of adaptation measures include
The Philippines, like many other countries throughout the world, is currently experiencing climate change. Apparently, climate change is attributed largely to the increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. For this reason, phenomena such as rise of sea level, the frequency and intensity of heat waves, droughts and typhoons, as well as the alteration of agricultural, coastal and marine ecosystem output and productivity are affecting greatly the life and properties of many. Although the Philippines is a minor emitter of greenhouse gas, emissions have been on the rise from both energy use and land use changes, with the latter as the major greenhouse gas contributor. As early as 1991, the Philippines began to respond to climate change through a series of policies and legal initiatives. Although it does not have any responsibility or commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and is relatively a minor emitter, the Philippines, nevertheless, took an active role on the mitigation aspects of climate change, especially in the application of the Clean Development Mechanism. The government has created the Philippine Council for Sustainable Development in response to its 1992 Earth Summit commitments. The Interagency Committee on Climate Change was established a year earlier in 1991. The Presidential Task Force on Climate Change Adaptation and Mitigation and the Advisory Council on Climate Change were also formed in 2003. Increasingly, the Philippines, both at the national and local levels, has begun to pay attention to the adaptation side of climate change by promoting climate change risk management initiatives. Although the Philippines is a relatively minor emitter of greenhouse gases, yet is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, especially by natural disasters. While the response to date has mostly focused on mitigation efforts, especially in the energy sector, the Philippines should pay greater attention to adaptation.
Here in San Fernando, La Union, Mayor Dong Galberto issued an executive order declaring a climate change emergency on March 2024.
The city of San Fernando has started several important projects to deal with climate change. San Fernando is trying to lower the emissions they create and also become stronger against bad weather. The city is taking direct action to reduce its impact on the environment through two key initiatives. First is tree planting. In June 2025, the PGLU, in partnership with San Fernando City Government, planted fruit-bearing trees like star apple, jackfruit, and cacao in Barangay Masikon. By planting fruit-bearing trees like jackfruit and cacao, they are not only absorbing carbon dioxide, but also providing local communities with sustainable food and income, which is a powerful way to reduce the pollution of greenhouse gases. Secondly, the city participates in the annual National Coastal Cleanup, where a large number of volunteers remove tons of debris, especially harmful single-use plastics, from their beaches, preventing these plastics from breaking down further in the ocean. The coastal cleaning program also includes mangrove planting, which is a vital part of San Fernando's defense against climate change because the mangroves act as natural barriers. As a coastal city, San Fernando faces increased risk from storm surges and erosions, making the mangroves crucial for protecting the coastline and reducing wave damage.
So you all may be wondering, what is the constant cleanup here in San Juan, La Union? TE NREMB Region 1 recognized a coastal cleanup in Barangay Urbis Tondo, San Juan, La Union, in celebration of World Water Day. This event brought together by EMB Region 1 directors, volunteers, and community members, all united in an effort to promote environmental conversation. Participants in engaging collecting litters of bottles and debris from beach, highlighting the importance of community environment in maintaining clean and healthy coastal cleanup and economies. The initiative not only aimed to clear the beach but also raise awareness about significance of preserving marine life environment for future generations.
In compliance with the 2025 International Coastal Cleanup Day theme as Clean Seas Against the Climate Crisis, Tayo and Solusyon, the LGU Balawan, under the leadership of Mayor Carlo Castro Concepcion, conducts a coastal cleanup drive on September 19, 2025. The activity led by Mr. Marvin Mark Maron, MENRO, together with the MDRRMO, demonstrates the municipality's commitment under Mayor Concepcion's guidance to protect the environment and raise awareness on the impacts of climate change. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.